You afraid of this nigga? Really? Asset forfeiture, cuz. When Trump, what president? I got my chain took by the police and Trump, I don't even think Obama was motherfucking president. Civil asset forfeiture been here. I know you want to kind of put that up as a thing. No, sir. I've had my assets forfeited by the motherfucking police civilly. Very much so. And Trump was not president. Installing judges, nigga, there's been judges who, every time you put in a new judge, you'd be surprised what these motherfucking judges put up in now. Right? There's been shitty judges that's been put in shit. And shit to do with Trump. Right? But nigga, you not in court. You ain't got a case in front of the Supreme Court. I hate Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter at all. I hate this nigga as a person. Fuck politics. I hate him as a person. As a whole human being. I definitely support the Dreamers. Some of my friends are DACA and Dreamers and shit like that, but they still here. Right? He tried to do that shit. He tried to do that shit and failed. He rolled back the Community Reinvestment Act. It's people who don't want that shit. Because reinvestment acts, some motherfuckers think the shit is gentrification. And you have a bunch of niggers come in and kick the niggas out. Unless you give them REITs or something like that. But it's really about coming in and taking underdeveloped property development, and the people who live there can't fucking live there anymore because they can't afford the rent. So it's niggas who don't want that. He's ending anti-racism training in federal positions. You can't. Anti-racism training is bullshit, though. You know that. How you gonna teach a nigga not to be racist? Teach a nigga not to make decisions based off the color of their skin when they've been making decisions based off the color of their skin. They didn't even know they was making decisions based off the color of their skin. How you gonna make it, and how you gonna train a person when the rules that they enforce and practice are racist in themselves? Just to defy things like anti-racism training. But you make the rule itself racist. That's what institutional racism is. The banks giving money into black communities. I mean, yeah, that shit's fucked up, but they've been doing that. They've been doing that. It's banks who've done that. They don't need a president. It don't matter who president. It's banks, the decision of the bank manager. He not finna give you that shit on race. Fuck that. It's an algorithm that they'll put all your information in. And like, nope. Ain't got shit to do whether you black, white, Chinese, don't matter. If you don't meet these metrics, if you don't have the bank, if you don't have the history, credit history, and you don't have XYZ, you can be black, white, whatever. So yeah, you got bank managers, you got niggers who not gonna give niggas shit, but you also got algorithms that ain't finna give niggas or niggers shit. But who are you getting a loan? Who's getting? I said you. Are you trying to get a house loan and you went to a bank and they wouldn't give it to you because you was black because Trump said XYZ? My point is that sometimes, my point is this, that sometimes we put ourselves in positions to make ourselves the victim of shit that if you really look at it, we not. And then we get so upset and mad at the potential that we could possibly be a victim, even though we've never experienced that shit ever. We've never been in that shit ever. Have we all been a part of racist bullshit? For sure, but it's systemic. It's been that way. I mean, the only reason we're here is because of racist bullshit. That's it. And it wasn't even all white people's fault. If it wasn't for black people, we wouldn't even be here. So yes, we're feeling the cascading effects of all the ways, but that's not what the fuck I said. It's not what I said, blood. Listen, I asked Mr. Legacy Jones. I asked. Matter of fact, come on in, Mr. Legacy Jones. You know I love you. You know I love them cheeks. Bring them cheeks on up in here.
What's, what's up, brother Lou? What's going on,
Bring
man?
bring them dimples on up in here, man. What's up, blood?
Yo, what's up, brother?
So you know we with the nitty gritty. I know you with the details. You know I'm with the generalizations, but I can take it to the details if I need to.
Uh-huh.
And you know the circumstances when people put themselves in a position to empathize to the degree where they feel that they're becoming the victim of something that they're not. Phantom syndrome, etc. We can take it all the way through that, right? People put themselves in positions and they get upset about shit that ain't happened to them, and then they have to find somebody who becomes the scapegoat for those conditions, right? All I asked was, what has Trump done to you
Mm-hmm.
that has interfered with your daily life? Not being an immigrant, but not being somebody coming in from another country or citizenship or shit like that. That's all I asked. So, and I'm talking about shit that he did, not shit that he
Mm-hmm.
reinforced, shit that he repealed or shit like that. Maybe the repeal is the thing that he did, but I'm talking about shit that he did in the last 4 years that fuck with the average black person's life on a daily basis.
Well, undoing something is doing something.
Mm-hmm.
We would agree, right?
I said, I said repealing something might be the action to make something
Okay.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I was, my and part
Mm-hmm. What?
of the Community Reinvestment Act was having heavier thresholds of what banks had to do um, within areas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, sorry, somebody's asking me my question. Sorry. Uh, So when you lose those types of incentives that come from the federal level in places that have more trouble at the local level retaining banks, and part of that also has to do with the makeup of neighborhoods. So if there's high concentrated poverty in an area, it's harder for a bank to actually sustain that. I was speaking with one of the former governors of Virginia at the Virginia Bankers Association, talking about the history of redlining, what typically happens in the absence of banks in the area, and that's where you get your predatory lending, cash checks types of things that then jacks up people's credits, all those other types of things. And so when you compound it with you end something such as the affirmatively furthering fair housing rule, which actually was what brought to the table the surrounding counties here in the Richmond area, right, like Henrico, Chesterfield, Goochland, all these other places that didn't participate. Um, it was actually the affirmatively furthering fair housing rule by Secretary Castro under the Obama administration that actually brought people to the table and enforced that. But then in the middle of it, when Trump came, he was like, "Nah, you don't have to do that." So then a lot of people left the table to actually be able to do that. But when you don't have concentrated poverty, you have black people living in access in more neighborhoods that have a more diverse income, you also can see banks, people give more access to banks, grocery stores, all these other types of things. So when you end these types of regulations that actually required people to actually to give out capital and things such as that, but not to go extreme, which was when you could get into like reverse redlining and all the stuff that happened there. But those do have effects on people's communities. Then when you talk about a lot of the police
What?
problems
Back,
that we
back,
have.
back up, back up before going get into the police.
All right.
How did your community lose a bank?
How to lose a bank?
Yeah.
Well, some of it is like part of the Community Reinvestment Act was talking about how if you were in if you got a certain federal incentive, you actually had to be present in a bank, and then also somebody said my video was laggy. Sorry. Um, you had to be in there and actually providing capital accounts. Start providing capital and providing accounts to people within. Well, it was by zip code because we can't do the type of reparative policy that we need to do. But when they removed that, it's been shown that banks then um, exit from those neighborhoods and then to say, well, we'll have financial classes or whatever. I think it's like financial literacy things, which are helpful. I mean, that's what a lot that John Hope Bryant does. Some of that stuff is helpful. but it's not the same as having a place where people can access to like build good credit, because then you have typically your loan check cashing types of institutions. Um, and so that's why it's important to know those incentives, right? And then also, Trump does these things where he's like, I gave a bunch of money to HBCUs, right, to help with facilities or other things such as that, which is like, okay, cool. But he also cuts Pell Grant money, which is one of the number one ways and resources that Black people use to be able to go to college. So it's actually making it less affordable for those types of things also.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get into judges and when you understand if you go to your local probably circuit judge and if you don't get what you want, you then have to argue up through some of these other places, and eventually, before you hit the Supreme Court, you're going to hit the federal bench, and depending on what their practices are, and their feelings on the level of discrimination, right? Versus like, is disparate impact enough, or does it have to be something more blatant, or the type of restrictions? And I mean, you can talk about the different cases within the Byron Allen lawsuit, but it was basically about what standard of proving discrimination was going to be used or not,
Mm-hmm.
which was challenged in the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which was the first one about right to contracts, right? So when you have someone who is, and we'll have to see what type of Supreme Court justices he chooses, because in some cases, as far as like the LGBTQ work discrimination ones, even some of his judges, um, sided with some other people as that. But we also have a lot of tight cases that are coming up, such as looking at affirmative action.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of ones that are coming up that, depending on who you pick, it can get really get really tight, man. And then I'll pause because you said you wanted to go before getting into like kind of policing and stuff like that.
No, I mean before we got up into another subject, I was trying to figure out why your lost the bank, right? And the other piece about I understand the judges play, but there's judges who Trump didn't pick, who Trump not gonna remove, who Biden not finna remove, who Obama didn't remove, who've been doing the same shit, right?
Well, it's like
Then the piece about uh affirmative action is black folks who don't fuck with affirmative action, right? Not to play what about and who did what and who said who, but it's people who don't fuck with affirmative action, right? It's people who don't fuck with HSBCUs. It's HSBCUs who like, no, we're not gonna have an engineering program. Like, why the fuck not, right?
right.
So
And if you don't,
people don't go to HSBCUs.
yeah,
They
some
don't,
people don't. But
right?
I'm
Some
saying, but
people,
Pell Grants is how you receive the types of funding to go to whatever college you may choose.
yeah, but some people don't go to college. Some people go to colleges where it's like, some people go to college and really the college system is a fucking trap.
Right, for sure.
Right?
But that's not what the
Trap.
question was. The question was, has it
Yeah,
affected people?
the question was, what did Donald Trump and his tenure as president do to you, right?
Right.
That interfere with your life on a daily basis. My claim was that the majority of people, especially black people,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. It didn't change your shit one way or another. You never had intentions to go to a HSBCU. Some of you niggas not even finna go to college. Some of you niggas are already out of college, so it don't even fucking matter, right? Some of you
Right.
aren't involved in cases that are going to go to the Supreme Court. Nigga, your shit not finna get to circuit court.
Right. But there are some people who
There are
haven't gotten where we've gotten yet, Luke.
some people, right?
And some black people
There's some black,
who have not
there,
gotten where.
but the majority of motherfuckers aren't. Motherfuckers ain't got bank accounts. And if they had a bank account, they might not have had a bank account at that motherfucking bank.
And why don't they have bank accounts, Luke?
It's niggas who don't have bank accounts. It's drug dealers who don't have bank accounts. It's drug dealers with bank accounts. It's niggas who not supposed to have bank accounts who got motherfucking bank accounts, right? The piece was stemming from that people are so afraid of another 4 years of Trump. My evidence was that even a lot of the shit that Trump did or said he was going to do got overturned. A lot of shit that he said he was going to do is a majority of the shit that he's actually tried to do, he didn't do or got overturned. He was like, fuck Puerto Rico. Now this motherfucker finna send $300 billion to Puerto Rico to rebuild the power plant. Maybe he said fuck them not too long ago.
Yeah, he was over there shooting toilet paper at him like he Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
Rest in
fucking
peace.
Kobe Bryant, right? But now what he finna do, right? So yeah, you could talk all the shit you want to talk. At the
But
end of
what prevented Trump from doing that though?
his racism, right? And because the motherfucking governor of Puerto Rico, instead of kissing this nigga's ass to get the shit that she needed for her people, she was like, fuck that nigga.
And he had a house and other people to be able to resist and downgrade some of the stuff that he wanted to do.
Listen, I get what you're saying, but if a nigga tell you, I'ma fuck with the niggas who treat me nice, I give you whatever the fuck you want, just kiss my ass. You kiss that nigga ass. Was you finna just fight and not get shit? But even with that said, the motherfucker said fuck them people. And now what he gotta do? Cause he wanna win so bad. And guess what? Niggas is going. Right? Why is he
And
winning
then you
in
also have to talk about the level of energy too. I mean, about
why
what he's not
hold up,
responding to.
hold up. Why is he winning in Florida with the Spanish, with the Latino vote? Right?
I don't know.
Because they came from Puerto Rico. Niggas
Some
left
people
Puerto
think,
Rico because the shit was so fucked up, resettled in Florida. Now these niggas is back in this motherfucker. He turning around and make that shit, finna go rebuild Puerto Rico's motherfucking thing system. My point was that niggas is so afraid of Trump, and I'm like, why? And I asked, hey, tell me something that Trump has did to you. Not what he did to another motherfucker. Not what he did to this group of people over here. You're not an immigrant. You're not a fucking nonsense. You're not flying in from this and flying in from that. Like, tell me exactly why. We talked about the Cuba shit earlier too, right? Niggas went to Cuba, blah, 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 but you got Florida's full of like Cuban refugees who do not fuck with Castro, who never fuck with Castro. Them is the niggas that Castro kicked out of the motherfucking Cuba, right? They don't fuck with him. They don't fuck with none of that shit. But tell me something that the nigga did to you that fucked up your life other than made you mad, other than said some shit you didn't like.
can we talk about COVID response? Does that count?
Yeah, we talk about
Because in
COVID.
Richmond, it's mostly black people that's getting
With
the
you.
death of that. At some point, it was almost like 100% of that stuff because of the lack of response and whether it was getting PPE, just the narrative and challenging the science, challenging
Yeah.
wearing a mask, challenging the type of rhetoric he does. Hate crimes have gone up
Listen.
exponentially, like under his watch. And
Mhm.
even though his FBI director, Christopher Wray, listed that the number one domestic terrorist threat to the United States is white supremacist terrorist groups. My man is out here trying to list Antifa, which is a sentiment, not even an organized organization, trying to get them on the list of people to list. Was trying to put Black Lives Matter on that list. I was watching um, uh, on C-SPAN when he was in front of the Security Commission when they were talking about all the things that he wasn't taking action against. When we have the Proud Boys and all these other documented people not
Mhm.
taking action towards that, so
Mhm.
inaction is an action. Repealing these other types of things, having the effects of these policies that he's not doing as well, is also. And then we talk about policing all the people that
Wait, wait,
pulled out his consent
hold
decree.
hold up. Are you in Antifa?
Nah, it's not.
No, you're not.
You
Okay,
can't be in Antifa.
no,
It just means to be anti-fascist.
this is what I'm saying though. Niggas ain't in Antifa. They ain't got shit to do with you, right? Niggas is wearing masks. I'm not listening to the president to tell me to wear a motherfucking mask.
But
I'm wearing
there's
it.
some. You aren't, Lou.
I though. You got people who telling you they not finna wear a mask. You got people who ain't wearing masks during the flu. You got niggas who ain't taking flu shots. You got motherfuckers who think that motherfuckers was injecting niggas with syphilis at the ski experiment. That shit happened 100 motherfucking years ago. You got niggas who still won't go to the doctor and get measles motherfucking shots. Right? Now, all of a sudden, the president of the United States is supposedly supposed to become the world leader in motherfucking infectious diseases overnight. He don't even understand the shit. Right?
That's concerned enough.
And then Fauci told you, I don't think Obama understand the shit. Right? Niggas is not
It's a
epidemiologists.
novel coronavirus. It's still a new development. We still don't know how this thing develops. Understand that.
Exactly. Peep this game though. When Fauci told niggas, he told you, we don't know what this shit is. I'm the man. I run this shit. We don't know what this shit is yet. We got ideas, but at the same time too, nigga, I work for the government, right? We got all type of secret bases and bullshit that we be running over here. So we prepare for the worst. So no matter what this shit is, we need to make sure that the priority people get the shit right before you niggas in the street get it, right? What he say? We didn't have a stockpile of masks. We wanted to make sure that we got a stockpile of motherfucking masks, right? And we that when we did announce that this shit was on, when this shit was on and cracking, that when you niggas who get sick, when you go to the hospital, the people who are gonna take care of you got enough equipment. Period. That's what the fuck he said. Is he fucked up for saying that? I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, you're right. Because if you told motherfuckers that crazy, you're gonna have motherfuckers going out buying all kinds of shit, right? Bulk. You know how to do. Masks don't cost $80,000.
And how did it work for Herman Cain's black behind for listening to the president on coronavirus?
Listen, fuck him. I don't fuck with Herman Cain.
Dude, he's dead though, bro. Rocking with the
president. Like, listen, man, you don't get me confused on which side of the table that I'm on. I'm strong and long on the black side, my nigga. But if you fucking with,
I'm not questioning you, brother. This is a question you asked.
Right. So
how has the president's decisions, policies, rhetoric, whatever, affected black people?
It hurt me. Listen, it hurt me to pull it back. Rest in peace, Herman Cain. Condolences to his family. Politics ain't got shit to do with you being a human being and deserving of some type of treatment and empathy and sympathy. Your politics, I don't give a fuck about politics. You could be a Ku Klux Klan member. If you bleeding out on the ground in front of your kids, I'm gonna try and save your bitch ass. I'm gonna call you a bitch and a punk, and I might put a little bit more pressure on that motherfucking wound. But nigga, I swear to God, I'm gonna try and save your life, bitch. For real.
For sure.
With the Klan hood. It hurt me to see Trump supporters following that shit. And I did my best. I've been on Instagram damn near every single day.
For sure.
Telling niggas, please wear masks. Please wear whatever you can still go to the campus. You can still hate niggas and wear a mask. You still can do that shit 100%, but please wear a mask. Dude is lying to y'all.
For sure.
Right? Dude don't y'all. It ain't got shit to do with politics or race. It's about money. Right? He just so happens to be white. But the black niggas with money who feel the same way about black motherfucking people. They'll send you clean off with your po black ass. Because it's about money. Right? Come out to my shit trying to get this money. And if you money, right? Motherfuckers ain't walking around with the leaders of all of the black movement phone numbers in their motherfucking pocket or in their phone.
Right.
You can't get in motherfuckers unless you went to in the same fraternity with these motherfuckers, and these motherfuckers is black. Right?
Right.
Excuse me. Apologize. So I think I knew this shit was bullshit.
Right.
Right? And that you should take care of your own from the jump. Take care of your shit first, then next motherfucker. You can't. They tell you on what they tell you on the plane, right? If the oxygen mask first, nigga, fuck that baby. Put yours on first, because the baby can't put a mask on no motherfucking body. So if you fucking black out, not only are you gonna die, the motherfucking baby gonna die. So nigga, put your mask on first, then focus on the rest of these motherfuckers. That's just simple survival skills.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, hold up, let me switch. Let me see, that's better. All right. So I had to get my charger because my phone was about to die. But when we're talking about money, when we're talking about budget cuts, when we talk about Trump's attempts, right? Trump's attempts to gut the Affordable Care Act and tell John McCain had to roll up and give him the thumbs down. But like, what would have been the implications of that outside of this with pre-existing conditions and talking to people who have been trying for 10 years to get onto some type of healthcare and just struggling out on the market, right? Like reversing and going back to some of those things. We also have to talk about what Trump's attempted to do as well.
No, we don't. No, because he didn't do it. We can talk about all attempt and tried to do.
He did it. He made the movement, but it didn't
But
work
he
out.
didn't succeed because he don't know what the fuck he doing. Which is what I said from the beginning of this nigga's presidency. Before he was president, this nigga does not know what the fuck he doing.
All right,
When you
let me
put
ask you a question.
him in that position, I swear to God, I said this. I said, y'all so afraid of this nigga, right? This nigga don't know what he doing, right? When you put him in there, he's not gonna know what the fuck to do, right?
So Lupe, you telling me if you had a neighbor that the police came up to you and said like, "Yo, we saw that he was trying to assassinate you, but we stopped it," you just gonna be like, "Oh, thanks." And if you had a choice to choose a different neighbor, or to have some type of like attempted joint, charged against him, you telling me you wouldn't do that joint? You just would be like, it didn't work.
See, this is the problem with hypotheticals. Because an attempt is a hypothetical. You just gave me a whole hypothetical about neighbors and if my neighbor was trying to assassinate me and this, that, and the third, right? None of that shit exists. None of it's real. So now we finna theorize and put a whole bunch of intellectual conversation about some shit that's not real, right? An attempt is not real. A nigga tried to do that shit, but right? Trump, let's stick to what the nigga tried to do. He tried to, as you said, gut the Affordable Care Healthcare Act, which is dead on arrival. Right? Whether no matter who tries to implement that shit, Bernie, none of them niggas was getting that shit through except by executive order, right? Because the Affordable Care Act, the whole motherfucking healthcare shit, we have it? Absolutely. We should have that shit, right? We should absolutely have it. Everybody should have at least access to some type of healthcare for sure. Is there gonna be consequences to that motherfucker? You better believe it, right? Because you can't reform
Right.
without reforming insurance companies, right? You can't do it, right? Unless you got buy-in from the elder folks, the elders, because what you gonna pay for it with, right? You gonna pay for that
First of
shit
all,
with Medicare, right?
I'm talking about the Affordable Care Act.
He tried to gut it, but he did
Mm-hmm.
not.
Right.
Now, if he was an actual politician, right? If he actually knew what he was doing, if he was a gangster like Bush or an intelligent motherfucker like Obama, right? He would have been able to pull that shit off, right? But he didn't. Just like about 90% of the shit that he tried to pull, right? And you better believe that all them niggas that he tried to put into judgeships, a majority of motherfuckers failed. His whole top list, niggas was like, nope. To the point where they didn't want to do it, right? Like, I don't
Mitch
want to be
McConnell,
installed by
yesterday, Mitch McConnell just pushed through more of them joints to like an empty chamber.
Mitch McConnell, a gangster,
Murder
certified,
Mitch.
a pure G of a politician. That motherfucker could make you cut off your own hand if you give him enough time sitting around the table with this crooked motherfucker,
Oh,
right?
Murder Mitch.
Right? Let's
Right.
not get it fucked about who we talking about. We're not talking about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell was there when Obama was there. Mitch McConnell done been in fucking Congress for a long ass motherfucking time.
Yeah, and that's why Obama didn't get a lot of stuff done that he attempted to, like
Because
trying to seat Merrick Garland.
he's a straight G. You can't be mad at a nigga G. I'm not talking about these niggas. I'm talking about
Right. And the tax cuts and what was cut in the budget, and some of the benefits that black people do rely on was cut out of the budget. You can look at what Reverend Barber and the Poor People's Campaign and what they've been campaigning for, and the report
right.
that they had out in their Jubilee economy. It talks about all the cuts that were happening in exchange for what was going on for the tax cuts for those people. So I mean, like it's realities that hit black
I'm
people
not.
to answer
I'm
your question, but.
listen.
But the
I
only reason
said
I introduced the
I
hypothetical is
to
because you
be
want me
one
to talk about what
to
Trump
be
has
one.
done without talking about all the other things he's done.
No. I said to be 100% clear.
Right.
Majority of people, and that includes the majority of black folks, lives have not been complicated, interfered with, and damn it anyway directly because of something that Trump did. Now, are there people on the margins and the extremes of certain circumstances where most definitely they have? Yes. But the majority, the mainstream of motherfuckers, besides having two earth, knows how racist on a daily basis. He gets you in your feelings, right? He gets you in your feelings. He make motherfuckers mad all day. all motherfucking day. Right? Niggas hate him. I dislike him as a person. Fuck a politician. I don't like him as a fucking human being. To his whole
Trump's a
family,
fool, man.
I hate this nigga, right? But ain't shit Trump did that affect me. Period. And if he came in here today and said, man, what have I done to you that other than make you mad? I'd be like, you made me mad. Nigga, get the fuck out of my house. Show me why I fucked up your money. Show me why I made your neighborhood less safe. Show me why I did extra. Show me what the fuck I done did. And I bet you if he went around to every black motherfucker in the country, motherfuckers gonna say, well, you know, I still got my check, you know, but I'm just saying, you ain't shit. Now,
I
be
literally was talking to
different conversation if he goes to a community where there's immigrants. Different conversation if he goes to a community where some motherfuckers who actually in that, like that bank that you talking about, which I'm still trying to get an answer of why that motherfucker closed, right? Because banks just don't close because they lose federal incentives.
right. I mean, the federal incentives, some of it has to deal with the economy and what's kind of going on with, you know, whether they're able to sustain that based on the people who are around it, neighborhoods that are changing, people that have been priced out. Some of that has to do with local politics
Yeah,
as well. But a lot of local politics and how much you can do and what types of, how much more out of the city coffers you have to come up because the federal incentive disappears might be the break between what we can afford to keep someone here or not.
I'm here with you on that. But that's not Trump's fault, right?
Trump
That
was an
that's
assist in that joint.
that's your city's ability to navigate and make fiscal decisions for the short term and the long term. And if they are not able to withstand one motherfucker coming in and changing one or two policies, you mean your whole shit was rested upon something as frail as a motherfucker coming in, whether he gonna move points around on an incentive or not? Your whole bank gone? I think it
I
might be a
think
little.
COVID-19 revealed how fragile most systems are. Cats was talking all that talk, but they was about 2 paychecks away from being in a whole different situation.
Niggas talked all that shit. Now
Facade.
all that shit down. And then on the flip, niggas talked all that shit about what's his name? What's this nigga's name? From Amazon, right?
Oh, Bezos, right.
Bezos. Talk all this shit about Bezos. Talk all that shit about this nigga. That motherfucker was like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. What do you think? You think
Bezos? Yo, when my 95 coming in though? Why Prime ain't 2 days?
Nigga, wait till the cycle comes back around and we get another motherfucking pandemic, which is mathematically guaranteed to show itself again, and I'm gonna be right there with the only delivery service on the planet, and I'm finna be the richest in the world.
Yeah, man. It's yeah, man. But
Talk
yeah,
about.
I'm just saying, like, that it definitely has affected people. It definitely has affected Black people.
For sure.
And once we go out of the hypothetical situation, we have to ignore, you know, forced hysterectomies and all these other types of things that are super crazy that are going on.
Niggas been doing that. Niggas been doing that before. Niggas doing that before Trump.
Yeah.
That none of that shit's new. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not new. I mean,
none of this shit is new. Niggas been on that. Niggas been on sterilization campaigns. Niggas been on, like, your part of your motherfucking plea deal is you get sterilized.
For sure.
Castrated.
It's carceral system. Yeah.
And then we'll pull your time down. Why we cutting niggas' balls off? Because these niggas is motherfucking pure genetic predators. Right? You let this nigga out there with his dick still attached to him, he gonna try and fuck every baby on the block. Right? But he not a threat to us. So I don't want niggas to get it confused that a part of the campaign and what the Democratic Party is doing is pushing like all this shit is new and that Joe Biden finna come and wipe the slate. It's like, nigga, you was a part of all of the building of this shit. Trump run around for none of this shit. This nigga stepped into the shoes of shit that was already built. Nigga, it was already a wall. Niggas acting like a wall. Nigga, it's been a wall down in Mexico.
I think it's like what Cornel West said. We're in an election between chaos. Do we want chaos or do we want destruction? It's the way Dr. Dr. Cornell put it up.
I
So
love that.
I mean, it's just layers of it. You know what I mean? So my thing is not, my thing is understand there is a distinct difference, and it's just like you know, it's like Street Fighter, right? You can choose when you're playing by yourself. You can choose who your opponent is. You want Zangief or you want Ken or you want Ryu, whoever it is, right? Based on how you play and what your strengths are, you want to choose an opponent that is a little bit more achievable for where your skill set is at the time. It's a lot going on right now. I don't think we want Trump as the final boss.
We don't want Trump as the final boss. We
We
don't
can
want him to
choose
be.
somebody else, but we're not going to pretend like that person is just going to automatically jump on our team. Like there's still going to be some things we're going to have to fight Joe on. But it's like, who would you prefer to actually fight and oppose against? And so I think you
Here's
just
the
have to be. Go
here's
ahead.
the crazy part. Here's the crazy part. You ready for this? Now this is gonna get me ostracized and put in the papers, right? But it's gonna
Okay.
make you look like a goddamn champion as you down there running.
Oh Lord.
I'm willing to burn myself for my peoples, right? Because you better than me. I feel like you need to be motherfucking president. But check this out, Jack.
Okay.
On some prison shit, like I'm talking to you like I'm in jail right now. Been
Gotcha.
sitting back about this shit for the longest of times. If niggas was able to get over how much they hate this nigga, Trump is the best president we've ever had. Because he's already told you, all you gotta do is pay me or say something nice about me. Nigga, I'll build a motherfucking playground in your kid's room. I give you whatever the fuck you want. All you gotta do is just tell me I'm cool. Or cut me a check. Nigga, you can't cut Joe Biden a check. There ain't shit you can say to Obama to make that nigga do something for you. Because they not built like that.
That's also assuming that Trump is good at keeping his word.
He come from a world, he let niggas out of prison. He gave his homies they shit. Look at the niggas who said fuck that nigga. He not giving shit to whole states. He like, look, fuck you and your whole state. Nigga, the majority of the state is Republican. I don't give a fuck. That bitch ain't want to kiss my ass. Fuck that nigga. All you have to do is sit in there and just smile and lie to this nigga. And it's like, yep, nigga, that nigga will open up the safe for you. You can sleep on the
There were
motherfucking
people
rest.
that sat in his cabinet and were like, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. President, for a good 1-2 years, and came back and said, oh, this dude crazy.
But guess what?
That left. And then
Guess what? They not built like that. They thought that they was gonna be able to impose their political will on this motherfucker, right? They felt like they was gonna be impose their values on this nigga and say, well, he really can't be that fucked up. I just need to get around him a little bit. And if I'm just around him for a year, I can make him sway him. And they didn't really understand. Like, this nigga set in his ways. He's 100 years old, been rich his whole motherfucking life, racist and a bitch. Right?
Yeah.
But willing to use a motherfucker and let him be used. That's his whole shit. And you understand that it's not for the long term. You got to get your shit and bounce. You can't stay around this motherfucker because you're gonna get lulled into thinking you're gonna change this nigga that y'all operating off something that he fuck with you. No, this nigga, he's showing you that he operates off the transaction. That's the best motherfucker to be around. You crazy? You try to get shit done. And it's the nigga who,
Brother Lou.
I like to know where I stand. I don't know where I stand with motherfucking Joe Biden. I don't know what he gonna do, right? But I know what Trump gonna do. I know if I drop that bag on that nigga, I'm gonna be president of motherfucking the post office. I guarantee.
You'll be Rick Perry and Betsy DeVos, huh?
Yep. And for the low, this nigga going off 200,000. What? 200,000? I could be the president of the post office, nigga. Are you what? And just don't say nothing bad about your press, nigga. I don't know how to do interviews any motherfucking way. Watch what I do. And I'm finna get my shit. I'm finna make my little shit. And then I'm out. Because this is all slash and burn. The nigga's a businessman. That's how niggas move.
You're going to have to ignore a lot morally, brother.
What did I say? If you could get over it. Now, don't get me wrong. Niggas
There's a lot to get over, brother.
Listen, niggas, look what people gonna say.
Nah, Lupe, because this is what's gonna happen, Lupe. You're gonna do all that. You're gonna have your bag, and they're gonna be like, I need one more thing, Lupe. I need you to perform at the RNC, and you're gonna be up there rapping and kicking and pushing, and they're gonna be kicking pushing yourself out in a casket because you got coronavirus.
listen, I got you. No, but look at what I said. Because people gonna focus on Trump's the best president we ever had. Nigga, that's not a good thing to say. You want your president to be unmanageable, right? You want him not to be easily influenced, right? You don't want that of a president. You want, hold up, you want a motherfucker you ain't got his phone number, right? So you don't influence him or keep him up at night thinking about your stupid little shit because you worried about what your neighbor is doing, right? What I'm saying is, just to be clear, if niggas was able to get over how much they hate this nigga, right?
Trump
If
can't get
you
over
could
how
just
much
get
he hates
over
black people.
how much you hate this nigga and you had the bag, you came in tour with the bag, and this nigga taking bags for positions. Oh shit. Nigga,
Be a
I'd
rich
be walking.
man in a fascist state.
If I was able to do that, I'm not, because I'm highly moral. I'm not. But listen, Mr. Legacy John, I'm telling you, if I was able to overcome how much I hate this nigga, and I had that bag, right now, I will be walking around the Pentagon in some shorts and flip-flops, no shirt, eating scrambled eggs, my nigga, inspecting the jets. Cause you better fucking believe I will be like, yeah, he's the greatest motherfucker ever. And I gave him 300,000 to become president of the motherfucking Pentagon. You goddamn right I would.
That's what you would think, but Trump is barely putting on black people. He's doing just enough for people to detour away from his stuff, because ain't nobody, Candace Owens should have got the MVP. She ain't even get a speaking slide at the RNC.
They ain't got the bag. She broke. She can't do shit for Trump. That's what I'm saying. She can't really do shit for Trump, and she ostracized her base. If she would have focused on black folks, Candace Owens would be the next motherfucking Rose. She would be the next motherfucking Martin Luther King if she was talking all that good shit to black people. But she not. So she fucked herself. And then white people she with don't really fuck with her like that. Just letting you know. But she ain't got that bag. And she ain't got no and the what they call it, the constituency that she's speaking on behalf, Trump already got them. You ain't bringing shit to the table.
Name 5 people, 5 black people Donald Trump put on.
What are you talking about? Name 5 black people Donald Trump put on.